I'm Mike.
And I'm Adam.
And this is Stuff and Waffle. Two friends talking about stuff, and often as not, waffling with frequent reference to Bond cars.
I was looking at a particular car the other day, and it got me to thinking, because the car that I was looking at was a special edition of a particular model.
Okay.
And that's not an uncommon thing. You've got brands doing it. It can be the most mundane model of car, or it can be the most exotic model of car. But I was thinking,
yeah, it seems to sell, doesn't it? People like it if it's got something special about it, even if the something special is actually not very special at all.
No. If perhaps it was to more the mundane end of things, it might be to shift some surplus vehicles or something like
indeed.
that.
Absolutely. No, it's an exciting special edition.
Yes. Honest.
Not old stock at all.
No. I won't have that. But I thought, well, I could this particular car. I will speak about it later. But I was thinking, what special editions do we like, and would we consider our favourites?
Well, I've had a few, because I'm as much a sucker for it as anybody.
You've fallen for that, then, have you?
I have fallen for that in the past,
and
I will come on to that.
Considering you fell for it, that must have mean it stands a chance of making your favourite list.
Yeah, one of them is on my list. One of the cars on my list I have actually owned.
Okay.
I have fallen for it in the past. I like stuff that's a bit more unusual, and I haven't in no cases where this has happened have I gone out to seek the special edition.
Right. Okay.
It's just kind of happened that
right.
I've ended up with a couple of special editions. My Mini was a limited edition. Again, I think it was only limited by the number they could sell. But the gold was a special edition that they did when they did the first facelift.
Okay.
And they did a number in that limited edition gold paint, but I think that was the only thing that was special about it. It was the fact that it was the first of the facelift, and they did it in gold.
Okay.
And I didn't seek that out. It just happened. It was at the dealer. It was a good price, and I later found out that it was a limited edition.
Okay.
But, yes, I am not immune to the charms of a special edition. Yes.
Oh, right. Well, okay then. How are you reeling yours off?
In no particular order.
Have you been like me? I'm not. Perhaps on some of them have gone slightly more into detail, but a lot of it is just I quite like the way it looks.
No, I've got a bit of detail for most of them. All of mine are special editions of production cars. They're not like custom cars, because that's a different thing.
Yeah, that is. Mine are all the same. Yeah, they're all production vehicles.
They are,
as we are aware of.
Yes, they were all produced either by the OEM or on behalf of the OEM.
Mm-hmm.
Many of them are factory special editions. So I've steered away from custom stuff, because that's different. So
okay.
But yeah, I've got a bit of detail.
Okay. Yeah. I've managed to, looking at my list now, I've inadvertently sort of started at the mundane and gone towards the fancy.
I've gone the other way.
Okay.
I started with the rarer, fancier stuff, and have ended up with the mundane.
Okay.
So
go on then.
That might work quite well. Okay, well, I will kick us off, and I'm going to get this one out the way up front, because it's one you might almost guess that I would choose. But this is the 24-karat gold-plated DeLoreans.
Yeah. Yes, I should have predicted it, really, shouldn't I?
You should have predicted that, but that's why I'm getting it out of the way up front.
Right, okay.
Now, for the listener, to describe how these came into being. John DeLorean, being a bit of a canny fellow, he'd actually done the deal to produce these even before the factory was built. So we're all the way back in 1978. So, before any of them, he had a prototype at that point. There were no production cars. There was no factory. But American Express were looking for an exclusive deal exclusive deals where they could offer very special things to their gold card holders.
Mm-hmm.
So DeLorean was shopping around for deals to be done where people would. He was entertaining any idea where people would guarantee they would buy the cars. And American Express signed a deal where they would produce 100 24-karat gold-plated DeLoreans. They would be offered for sale exclusively to American Express gold card holders.
Okay.
And they would sell for $85,000.
Oh.
Hey, bear in mind, a completely stock DeLorean just happened to be 24-karat gold-plated.
Okay.
Now, in 1978, when the deal was done, obviously the cars weren't produced until 1981. But in 1978, $85,000 was a lot. That's more than you'd pay for a Ferrari.
Yeah, that's big. That is.
That's a lot of money. Standard retail price for the DeLorean was $25,000, and that was considered expensive. That was more than a Porsche 911. That was more than Mercedes SL of the time. More than a Ferrari. That's steep.
That's thoroughly cashing in on 80s goodness there, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. So come 1981, the factory's all up and running. 2 cars were produced. They found a company to galvanically gold plate the body panels. They trimmed the interior with a nice tan leather, which actually was really nice. It's a shame they didn't offer that as a standard option. They also did the wheels, they did the exhaust system, they did various engine components, front and rear fascias painted gold. They really went to town with it. It was everything. So these 2 cars were made at the factory. There was also a set of body panels supplied that just went into stock for repairs or whatever may come up. So these 2 cars were then purchased by American Express gold card holders. One very quickly ended up in the National Transportation Museum in Reno, Nevada. And the other one was bought by the director of a bank in Texas. And he put it, obviously, and he put it in his safe. And it remained in that safe until 2003.
Blimey.
It was in his will because he died, but it was in his will that the car couldn't be sold. It was willed to his grandson, but it couldn't be sold until his grandson reached the age of 30.
Right.
Which was 2003.
Right, okay.
This car has never been driven. It's never even had fuel in the tank. It has no miles on it.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's now at the Peterson in Los Angeles. Peterson Automotive Museum.
Okay. Yeah.
Alongside the Back to the Future A car.
Very
so there
good.
It sits. A third one was produced at the factory. After the factory was closed and the company had gone into liquidation, the administrators kept a handful of staff on to finish off the cars that were actually in production.
Okay.
So they were there up until February 83, building, I believe, hand building 6 cars. And they found these gold body panels in stock. So they fitted them to the shell of a car and made one.
Wow.
This one had a black interior, silver wheels. It was just the body panels. The rest of it was stock. And that was sold and haven't been able to track where that one is. But that was the gold-plated DeLorean. So you could argue that sort of was and it wasn't a special edition, but they were produced at the factory.
Yeah,
And
I think that counts, doesn't it?
I think that counts, yeah.
Yeah.
And very special indeed. But a further 2, I believe, have since been done in later years by private individuals. They've had them gold-plated, but they were not original. So there are 5 in total in existence. 3 were produced at the factory.
Very good.
So yeah, there you go. That's my first choice.
The
gold-plated DeLoreans.
Okay.
I've started strong there.
Yeah, I think I should bring us back down to earth.
You probably should. Yeah, 85 grand gold DeLorean is not for everyone.
No. So yeah, well, we're going to come back down to earth with a thud here.
Okay.
First one on my list is a Renault 5 Monaco.
Ooh.
Now that's
interesting choice, because there's been quite a few Renault 5 special editions.
Yeah, quite a few. So this one isn't really a performance-based one. This is more luxurious.
Okay, that's cool.
It came in a kind of, I think it came in a few colours, but the one that stands out is there was, the sort of bronzy
browny colour,
browning, yeah.
Yes, almost like a sort of metallic chocolate colour. Yeah.
It's got lovely plush leather interior, almost armchairs.
Yeah,
compared to
very French. That is.
Yeah, it's quite French.
Yes.
And I do believe it had some kind of suit carrier in the back.
Okay.
So
interesting.
Yeah,
facelift model as well. Facelift.
Quite late on in the Renault 5 life cycle. But yeah, I thought that's a bit of me. I quite like that.
That's a lovely thing, isn't it? Yeah, I do like it when they do, a small cheap hatchback, but just throw everything at it.
Yeah,
fit all kinds of things that have no business being in a small cheap hatchback.
That's it. And like I said at the beginning, I'm going at it purely on visuals, really.
Yeah.
But I think that nice place to sit. It's not like I said, it's not performance. It's not like it's turboed or anything like that. I think it's just the normal 1.7. I think.
Yes. Well, it's going to be all the squidge in there, isn't it, on those seats? Yes.
Yeah, that's just going to be just a bit of noise. That's all. Yeah. So
I wondered when you started to say Renault 5 if you were going to choose the turbo nutter, big boxy wheel arches one.
I don't know.
What that's called now.
I think they just called it the GT Turbo, didn't they?
They just call it GT Turbo.
I think so.
Yeah.
But no, I thought, well, as you get older, you can't be tearing your hair out all the time.
Sometimes you're just looking for a comfy seat.
Oh,
you really are. Absolutely.
That's it. I mean, and as the list goes on, there's a few more things that'll take your face off. So that's lovely.
So
we got to have all bases covered.
Oh yeah, bit of luxury, bit of performance, bit of weirdness.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's all of it.
Bit of stuff you look at, you think, what were they thinking? Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I know what they were thinking with this. This is just you could see this charging around Paris or Monaco, as the name suggests.
Monaco, I think. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. But anywhere that's sort of posh French area. Yeah, anywhere like that.
Yeah.
One of these pulls up lovely.
That's very smart. Very smart. I like that. I like the colour too. That bronzy brown is lovely.
Yeah, very nice.
Yes. Excellent choice, sir. Excellent.
Yeah, I thought you'd like a bit of that. So but very much not gold plated or anything like that. So
no, we're very much at the other end of the market there.
Yes. Yeah. And yes. By looking at my list, we will remain there for a little while. So
fair enough. Well, I'm heading that way.
Okay.
But my next choice also does not fall into that category.
Good. Go on then.
I am going to talk about the Tesla Founders Editions.
Okay.
Now, this started with the original Roadster.
Mm-hmm.
I believe the first 100 cars were Founders Editions.
Okay.
They sold for $250,000.
Oh my.
They had every option on them. They were done in a special, what Tesla call Founders Red, which is a very deep metallic kind of wine red that they've only ever done on the Founders editions. There was later a Model S Founders. There was also a Model X Founders, which is incredibly rare. They've never done a Model 3 or a Model Y Founders, but they were special editions. The first 100 cars off the line, every option, limited edition paint, big battery, dual motor, all they threw everything at it. It was every option selected, and sold for considerably more. There are a few around. There's a handful of Founders Edition Model S's in the UK, but they are incredibly rare, and they sell for way over the odds.
More than they should do.
Probably more than they should do. Yeah, absolutely. And of course, Elon's personal Founders Edition Roadster is just passing Saturn, I believe.
It's an undisclosed location.
Yes. Well, what's left of it, anyway. A year in deep space has probably knackered it a little bit.
Yeah, it's probably not factory fresh, but yes,
I imagine not. No, that lovely paintwork might have started to come off by now. But
yeah, a bit of excess radiation up there.
I think so.
Probably fine.
Yes, probably fine. So technically, a Founders Edition Tesla is in fact the furthest travelled car in history.
Yes, still going, allegedly. Isn't it?
Still going, yeah, absolutely, and will be for millennia.
As long as it's not interfaced with the planet at this point. So,
well, no, I don't know if they're still tracking it, or even if they still can.
I think I know that they tracked it for a while, and then some clever bastard made a website based on its trajectory. It did a load of calculations and said, right, this is where I think it's going to go. And it's
okay. Is it slightly off course, isn't it? It's not where it is, because it was supposed to go into orbit around Mars, but it went off in the wrong direction.
That's right, yeah.
So that it won't. But
yes,
there you go. So that's my, again, I've gone with a very expensive top end vehicles, but the Founders Edition Teslas, they're very exciting special editions.
Very good. Happy with that. So, again, this one I've picked, perhaps not because it's what I'd call a favourite, but it's relevant in a different way, which you'll realise very immediately.
Okay.
This was nothing but a marketing exercise.
Right. As so many special editions are.
This was a sponsorship deal.
Okay.
And
it was good for a bit of cash.
Oh, yeah. Yes, back in, what would it have been, 93, 94? Pink Floyd decided to go on tour.
Yeah.
And as a result of this, they were sponsored by Volkswagen.
Oh, perfect.
Yes, that makes a lot of sense. There's somewhere on YouTube there is a press conference of this all being announced, and there's the three of them sat there telling the world's press how excited they are to be sponsored by Volkswagen. No one told their faces that they were excited.
No. Okay. Yeah. Oh, my word. What did they come up with?
And they came up with a Mark III Golf with some extra stickers and a mildly wonky interior.
Oh, rock and roll.
Yeah, really, really Yeah, really good.
Really not appropriate at all in
No.
any way.
Nope.
Not exciting.
No.
No,
Nope.
nothing to do with the band or their music.
There were. I think it also came with some tat as well. You had a cap, and there were some pins, and I think you might have even had a little model car.
I'm just looking at some pictures. What a tragic looking thing.
Bad, isn't it?
The best way you could make that Pink Floydy would be to drive it through a wall.
Yeah, it's going to need something, isn't it? Because this is just.
That's just awful.
It makes no sense.
No.
But
It's even on steel wheels.
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing redeeming about that at all. Because that's not a good car to start with.
Oh, no.
The Mark III Golf was awful.
Yeah, just a bit. It's just a bit crap. And I think, well, why has this happened?
Why did they agree to? Well, presumably an agent of some sort agreed to that.
Yeah, there will have been a large sum of money change hands. But I have no idea why they needed that level of cash from a really weird sponsorship deal. It was a sellout.
Well, either them or VW. I don't see why either side would want to do it.
Yeah, there's no winners here.
There's nothing in it for either of them.
No. VW are going to get criticised for making a pointless vehicle, and Pink Floyd are just going to be accused of being just weird sellouts.
Just selling out for just cheapening the whole thing, isn't it?
It was really weird. I just because there was preceding the tour, there was obviously an album, and that all happened in the normal way, and then this tour, which is still revered today. You can still buy the DVDs of this. It was so good. Like I said, sell out all the merchandise off the back of it. Yeah, brilliant. But why this turd?
Yeah, that's bad.
So
that's bad.
Yeah, like I said, I not what I'd call favourite, but it had to be on the list.
Well, that's very interesting because my next one is also a Mark III Golf.
Oh, right, very good.
And a Polo and a Corrado. And this is the Volkswagen Harlequin edition.
Oh, well, okay. We've got crossover because that was the next one on my list.
Oh, very good. Very good.
The first time we've done that.
That is the first time on one of these lists we've both chosen the same thing. There you go. I did wonder about that, whether we would.
Because that I do like.
Yes, I really like it. I tell you what it puts me in mind of. Do you remember Colin Baker as was it Colin Baker or Tom Baker? I get them confused. Colin Baker as Doctor Who. And his coat. Let me just check.
Yeah, because it was Tom Baker. I'm sure it was. But it was his coat and his scarf, wasn't it?
It's Colin. No, Colin Baker.
Colin Baker. Oh,
Colin Baker.
Trouble is, we did have a Tom Baker as well, didn't we?
Yes, but that's what I mean. That's why I'm confused. It's Colin Baker.
Yes, right, okay.
Who was Doctor Who from 1984 to 1986.
Oh, yes.
His coat, the long dress coat that he wore,
is
all the same colours as the Harlequin VW.
Yeah, it's a bit lively, isn't it?
It's all going on, isn't it? Yeah, it's a bit in your face. Well, as you probably know then, there was a Polo produced for the 1995 London Motor Show.
Which, that's just for a bit of reference, and that's the reason it goes on my list. I was at the motor show.
Oh, excellent. Very good.
I remember
it was designed just to show the different colours that the Polo was going to be available in. But everybody liked it so much that VW decided to make it.
That's right.
They played a Golf, and they also did a Corrado.
The Corrado is not one you see very often. Everyone remembers the Polo.
We don't see Corrados very often, any sort.
No.
To be fair. But I don't think I've ever seen a Harlequin Corrado. I have seen a Harlequin Polo. There used to be one down in Exeter. They used to be parked near Marks and Spencer's a lot. It's not there anymore. But there you go. Oh, that's interesting. The VW Harlequins. Yes.
Yeah, very cool.
Very cool. I like, as you say, I like that. because it's just completely bonkers. But why wouldn't you make each body panel a different color?
Yeah, why not? And
why not?
And good, I can't even do my maths. However old I was at the time, I was so pleased with it. I just because there wasn't much else to get excited about on the VW stand, as I recall.
Ooh, well, 1995. I can't imagine there was a great deal to get excited about on anybody's stand.
No, I suppose not. There was you were allowed on the Ferrari one, but you had to queue. So that was a bit crap.
Yeah.
What did I took a particular shine to something. What was it? Do you remember? It wasn't where it was released. There was a model update somewhere along the line. Do you remember the Honda CRX Del Sol?
No, I don't.
The little Targa top, really small little thing, but
okay,
quite a cool little car.
Yeah.
And really, really quite expensive these days as well.
I imagine it would be, yeah, if only for rarity. Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, that was the only thing that I really remember from that show, other than the Harlequin.
I'm just having a look at some cars that were launched in 1995. Oh, Alfa Romeo GTV Spider. That was 1995.
Okay. I don't recall that. Well, I know what it is, but I don't recall it from being there.
Bentley did a convertible version of the Continental. Again, it's just kind of mush, isn't it? Really?
There's a sea of just. Oh my goodness!
There was another BMW 5 Series. Oh, I'm so excited.
I've just remembered one that was at the show. It was the unveiling. Well, I don't know if it was its actual release, but it was the first time I'd seen one. It was the Vauxhall Vectra.
Oh. Yeah, great.
Do you remember all the stupid faff around the wing mirrors and going, oh, look how they're styled. No.
Sculpted into the bonnet. Yeah.
Absolute crap. You know what you're like when you're a youth and you're doing car things, you go and harvest as much free shit as you can.
Oh, your carrier bags everywhere. Yeah.
So yeah, I got my free stuff from Vauxhall, and there was a big pack in there all about the Vectra, and this was 95. Got a free CD-ROM.
Yeah, of course you did.
Oh, I did.
Of course you did.
And on top of the CD-ROM, the sticker was a bird's eye view of this bloody wing mirror.
Oh, it was the best bit. To be fair, it actually was the best bit.
Yeah, it was.
I'll give them that. Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, what an awful, awful car.
Yeah, dreadful.
That's not. I mean, you never see them anymore, which is, good thing that they've all disappeared.
Yeah, no one gets excited about that.
No, that was not good.
No, that's fine.
Not good at all. No, there are no Vauxhalls on my list.
No, there aren't. That's just an accidental mention now. Right. Yes. Okay. Let's bring us back to something a bit. This is not high end, but I quite like it. And if it weren't if it were really, really cheap, I might have a little punt on it. And that would be the Rover 200 BRM.
Good choice. Good choice. Yeah. Yeah, that's a rare old beast, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, but love just nice little styling cues.
Yeah, the little bubble Rover, as they call them.
Yeah, the quite lavish interior.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they were quite smart. Yeah.
And it harks back to a name from years gone by, because Rover and BRM have always sort of been joined over the years.
Yes.
They're racing cars, obviously, because BRM was British Racing Motors.
Yes, indeed.
You remember the gas turbine car, the Rover BRM that raced at Le Mans in 63 and 65?
Yeah, it was going to be the future, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. It was just a bit crap. But
yes. Yeah, that was a drawback.
It was a little bit of a drawback, but it's still a cool car, and you can.
Oh yeah,
they've still got it. It's at the British Motor Museum in Gaydon. The actual car. It's
superb.
Yeah, it looks as rough as you'd imagine it would do.
Yeah, I should think so. Yeah.
And that's not because it's not been cared for. That's how it was.
Well, it was a development car, wasn't it? Effectively. I mean,
it's pretty cool. But yeah, that's where this special edition came from. A bit of a hark back to.
Excellent. Yes, orange grille on the front.
And, nice.
You do occasionally see one of those come up for sale.
Yeah, and they're not obscene.
No, they're not. They are quite obtainable if you wanted such a thing. Yeah. That chap on YouTube, Nitro Silvia's got one, hasn't he? That he's restoring very, very slowly.
Oh, yeah.
He's got one tucked away in his garage that he's been working on for ages.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good choice. That's a good choice. Yeah.
I was going to say that's probably a Rover that I wouldn't say you'd want, but you'd be mildly interested.
Yeah. As you say, I don't know that I'd want to own one, but any special edition Rover is worth a look.
Yeah,
in my opinion. Yeah.
That's fair, isn't it?
We all begrudgingly like a Rover, don't we?
Yeah. Yeah.
We just do.
We do. But I suppose the only real drawback is the engine.
Yeah.
It is still. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure Phil will if I get this wrong. I'm sure
he's our resident expert on this.
I'm sure it's the 1.8 K series, which is the most likely K series to blow a head gasket.
Yes, as Mr. Clarkson might have said, it's writing checks the rest of the car can't cash.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that seems fair. But yeah, I think.
Or the other way around. But yeah.
If well maintained and well looked after, and it's not going to blow up. It's just if you don't pay attention, they do let go.
Trouble is, so many of them have not been well maintained and well cared for, and have let go, and that's why there aren't many of them left. Because people just scrap them because they're just not worth sorting out. Because it's just not a car that's worth anything, is it? That's the problem.
That's it. But yeah, it would be. I'd consider. I'll keep the radar going on that one just in case.
Yeah, absolutely. They do. You often see one at a show. They do. They are around. They do turn up.
Yeah. They've not all disappeared, which is nice.
No, they haven't. No, tasty little thing that. Yeah.
Okay.
In amongst all the dross of that era, Rover did still produce some tasty stuff.
Yeah, that was quite unexpected as well. That, wasn't it?
Yeah, because that was in their period where they were deeply, deeply compromised.
Yeah, I can't even. I suppose if we worked it out, you could pin down who owned them at that particular point. But it was no one who gave a toss, really.
No, I don't think so. When would that have been? 98, 99?
Yeah, I can't.
Was
that Phoenix Group by then, or is it BMW?
Or was it still BMW? I'm going in. Going
to beat me to it.
See what we got.
Oh yeah, it was BMW from 94 to 2000. So that.
Yeah. So BMW shit with the tail end of it.
Yeah.
They lost interest by then.
No, so that would have been because that 200 would have been 95, 96 when the bubble one came out. Was it the R3? Was the code for that one?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, tasty. Very tasty. Good choice. Very good choice, actually.
Yes, happy with that.
Yeah, that's a solid special edition. Well, I'm gonna go back to very expensive and silly rich man's toy here.
Oh, good.
Yes, that's right. The last time I shall do that, actually. I got slightly out of order because you were talking about a Mark III Golf and I had one on the list, so I thought,
Okay.
well, I'll
Steam
slip
in
that
there.
in. Yeah, steam in there with me Harlequin. I am going to suggest the Holland and Holland Overfinch Range Rover.
Yep.
Now, the thinking behind this, you could say, is questionable. What are 3 activities it'd be really good to combine? Driving big, heavy, powerful cars, getting really boozed up, and shooting shotguns.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're all covered there, aren't you?
yeah. Let's wrap all those together in one tasty package.
Because they've actually done a few of those, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. They have. Because Overfinch are a tuning house, aren't they? That do work on Range Rovers, and obviously Holland and Holland are the gun manufacturer.
makers. Yeah.
So yes, indeed. So all you need is to throw in some hard liquor, and you've got a winning package.
Yeah, I think having seen a few of these, not in person, just on various things or photos, I think that probably if be the L322.
L322, sir. They were all in dark green, metallic dark green. That was the only color you could get. You got 2 shotguns, a champagne fridge, spirit locker in the boot, and an invoice for £140,000.
Yeah, that's steep, isn't it?
That's
Because wasn't you mentioned the champagne cooler? Wasn't that was that in the rear between the 2 seats?
From what I've just been looking at I was looking at some specs when I was researching this, and it went all the way through because the drinks and gun cabinet in the boot was fixed,
right?
So you lost an enormous amount of boot space.
Oh,
and
yeah,
apparently
the boot floor raised enormously, didn't it?
That's right.
Yeah.
Almost sort of halfway up, or 3/4 of the way up the back seats, which no longer folded down. So all the reason to have a Range Rover in the first place is gone. But the fridge was indeed between the 2 seats, but it went back into the drinks cabinet that was fixed, the walnut drinks cabinet that was fixed in the boot.
Brilliant.
So you could chill your crystal and choose from a wide range of bubblies and spirits. Yes.
And then shoot things.
Whilst you polished your shotguns, yes.
That's good. Yeah, I mean, there will have been no drunken toffs at any point getting chauffeured around, sitting in the back and shooting out the window.
Oh no, of course not. That would never have happened. No, don't be silly. No. A perfectly reasonable set of activities to combine. I feel.
Oh yeah, it's an everyman car, really, that, isn't it?
Oh, it is absolutely. Yeah, we should have mentioned it when we were talking about the Mark III Golf. Really.
What a thing!
Oh yeah, absolutely. I had to include that.
Yep, that's fair enough.
Because it just makes me laugh.
Yeah, no, it is. It's just far too indulgent, really, isn't it?
On every level.
Yeah, it's a bit.
I mean, the Overfinch Range Rover is pretty. It's pretty out there. It's pretty up there anyway.
Yeah.
But the Holland and Holland edition, oh yeah, that's got it all.
Yeah, that's someone taking a piss there, isn't
it? Yeah, I think so.
Right. Oh my goodness me. Holland and Holland Overfinch Range Rover, and moving on to.
There is no way to follow that, so don't worry.
There is no segue possible to get from your car to my car. Mine, next on the list, is still in the mundane, but reasonably rare. It's a Fiat Seicento Michael Schumacher edition.
Oh, I was hoping you'd pick this. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, all right. I mean, there are photos of him actually operating one.
Yes, indeed.
But basically, it's just a fancy edition. I believe they came with the 1100 engines. They had a bit of Abarth styling,
Wow.
bit of few sporty bits here and there, some 14-inch alloys, as I believe.
Very good.
A slightly tweaked interior, nothing particularly drastic, but quite a fun, chuckable car, I would imagine.
I should imagine, especially with a Schumacher at the wheel.
Yes, I don't think he comes with it. I think you get a little sticker on the back.
Yeah, that seems more reasonable.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's about it. But yeah, I think they were the Seicento. I know there were various other editions of model, but it was just the Seicento one is the one that stands out. I think 2,500 cars.
Okay, so it was genuinely limited.
Yeah, it was quite limited. Yeah,
he did a few things with Fiat over the years, didn't he?
he did. Yeah, he's cropped up in a few things. He's done some really random stuff as well.
Yeah,
some of those really weird adverts that he did for Bacardi.
Yeah, well, he did used to drink heavily.
No, but this was promoting safe driving and not drinking. But he was
I
still
remember that.
weird, really weird.
Yeah, I remember those. Yeah, I've seen some of those. Yes, very strange.
Yeah,
very strange. Why would a spirits manufacturer even want to get into that area?
Can of worms. I don't
absolutely.
I don't ever recall them being aired in this country.
No, I've only seen them on YouTube and sort of like those weird clip shows where they show bizarre stuff from Europe. Yes.
Yeah, but as I recall, but maybe I'm getting it wrong. Was the dialogue in English?
I can't remember.
I can't remember.
I can't remember.
Goodness, regardless of language, it's baffling.
Yes, that's a very strange choice, isn't it?
Yes, and I'm I mean, like you said, doing stuff with Fiat, but it was all Ferrari related, wasn't it? It was all the
same company. Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm right in thinking again during the Ferrari time and sponsorship and that. I'm sure I've seen him advertising something Shell related as well.
Oh, almost certainly.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yes. Well, in terms of putting his name on something, this I would actually quite like the little Fiat.
I don't think you could go too far wrong with that, could you? I think that would be enormous fun.
It would be enormous fun.
You could sling that around anywhere, and it would be absolutely fine.
It would. It will rust.
Oh yes, obviously, and break.
Yeah, so
just things are going to come off in your hand. Yes,
that's fine. But it's not a complicated car.
Oh no, it's not. No, absolutely. So, it's kind of charming, isn't it? It's kind of cute and feisty, and you just know it's going to, rev its little engine and spin its little wheels, and off you go. It is exactly what it looks like.
Yeah, you are going to be grinning driving that.
Yeah, you are. It's a cheeky little puppy, isn't it?
It is, but yeah, there we go. Well, one of those each then, because they're not very expensive. So.
No, I'm sure we could furnish ourselves with one of those quite easily. Yes,
yes, very good.
Oh, we'll pop them both in the boot of your Volvo. We'll be away.
That's it. Yeah, don't even have to put the seats down.
No, that'll be fine. Yeah, 4 passengers and 2 of those. Yes.
Oh dear. Right. Have you? Where are we in sort of price scale with your next one then?
We're coming well down now.
Okay.
Although this one still would have been fairly pricey when it was new because it was fairly cutting edge tech.
Okay.
I am talking about the Nissan Leaf Gold Leaf edition.
I've heard of this. But yes. I'm going to need some details. I don't really know much more than a name.
Okay. Well, these were made for the 2016 Olympic and Paralympic Games by Nissan. They decided to reward each of the athletes that they were sponsoring who gained one or more gold medals.
Mm-hmm.
And they gave them each a brand new Nissan Leaf.
Okay, right.
they weren't gold plated like the DeLoreans. They were vinyl wrapped.
Yeah. So I assumed that was the case.
In shiny gold, and had a little crest on the front doors saying Rio 2016 gold medalist, and on the bonnet, and sponsorship logos, things all over it. Yeah, they were factory produced, so they weren't available to the public, but they were a special edition produced by Nissan for the gold medalists of the 2016 Olympics.
Okay.
So there you go.
Oh, that's
now, and as I say, at the time, a brand new Nissan Leaf, even though it's the first gen Leaf, and we look back on that now as being quite limited in terms of an electric car, but at the time, pretty much at the forefront, because it was before Tesla had really got up to speed, and they'd have been quite something at the time.
That's excellent.
So there you go.
Do they ever come up on the market? Have you seen much?
Never seen one. No, never seen one. Don't know what happened to them. But of course, they may well have had the vinyl wrap stripped off them and just you wouldn't know that it was one now. So
right, okay, I suppose
because they were just wrapped. They didn't paint. I don't know what color what they were underneath, but presumably they were just standard Nissan Leafs that came off the line. And
would make sense, wouldn't it?
And they jiggled them a bit and gave them to the athletes. Yeah. So I've never seen one. I've never seen one.
I can see why you'd pick that. That's right up your street. That is.
I think so. Yes.
Yes. Right. Okay. So I need to address something now.
Okay.
I've tackled the sort of lower end of the market. We're going up steadily now.
Oh yeah, you're going the other way to me. I'm going the other way,
and we're going.
I've got me cheap ones next.
We're going sort of mid-range-ish price-wise, and it's going to be a Porsche next.
Oh, Porsche! That's unusual for you.
Not a 911.
Good.
Right. So this is a 924S Le Mans edition.
Ah, interesting.
Not to be confused with a 94 Le Mans edition from 1980. The 94S would have been late 80s, so sort of 87, 88, I believe. It was essentially, it was basically a club sport.
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes. But with the Le Mans name, it was given the Le Mans name to celebrate Porsche's 12th outright win at Le Mans.
Okay.
And with it being a 94S, you've got the 2.5 engine, basically the 944 engine.
Mm-hmm.
You've got the uprated sport suspension.
Yeah.
And I think they came in a slight variety of colours, but I'm not sure. Not 100% on that.
I've only found pictures of
white.
Okay. Well, I found a picture of a black one. So.
I thought there was alternatives, but the one that sticks out in my
black
mind,
and white. So I don't know if there are any others.
That'll do, wouldn't it?
That's colours. Yeah, there you go.
That's some, but it's
interesting,
cracking car. So it's such a really cool spec with the 94S because you've got that sort of, for want of a better way of saying it, you've got the engine and running gear of a 944, but you've still got the slim body shape of the 924.
Yeah, the 924 was a lot sort of lighter and nimbler, wasn't it? It wasn't as heavy as the 44.
Well, it wasn't so much that. It was more the styling changes, because if you look at a 944, you see the flared arches, whereas the flanks of a 924 are all shallow
flat
and smooth. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. It looks lighter than a 944. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so that's that would be there because I like a 924S.
Yes.
B, it's Le Mans and proper for a proper reason as well. I mean, granted, it's not anything to do with the car that raced, but
Yes.
what are they going to do? That was that would have been a 962 to celebrate the 12th one. That would have been 962C in Rothman's colours, I would imagine.
Very good.
And go if I had to have a wild punt, I'm going to assume Derek Bell was driving.
I have no idea.
Yes.
No idea.
No. Wild punt. I'll say Derek Bell, Handstuck as well. I'm sure there was a third driver, but I apologise, I can't remember.
I bow to your knowledge. I have not got a clue.
Okay, that's fine.
Very good. There's been a few Le Mans editions, haven't there? Am I right in thinking, or did I imagine this, that there was a Mazda MX-5 Le Mans edition?
That really does sound familiar. I would assume...
I'm going to Google that, because something in the back of my mind tells me there was an MX-5.
Yeah, I'm going to say I would assume that is a thing to celebrate Mazda's 1991 victory.
Yes, exactly. Oh, my God. Yes, there was one.
And it's in the green and orange, isn't it?
Very much so. Yes, it's very green and orange. It looks like a Christmas present.
That's it. Because if you Google Mazda 787B, you'll see why.
Yeah. I've got that here. Yeah. If Elf on the Shelf had a car, it'd be that.
Yeah, not far off.
Absolutely. A little red and yellow roller skate. Yeah, a red and green roller skate. Yes. That's I just had something in the back of my mind that there was an MX-5 Le Mans edition.
Well remembered, sir.
Yes. Oh, there we go. Well, there's another one then on the list. The MX-5 Le Mans edition.
We'll inadvertently chuck that on there. Why not?
We'll just slip that in there. Yeah, that wasn't my next one. That wasn't on my list at all. But
what a happy accident. But
very good.
Yes, and just to put it out there as well, celebrated that particular win, and then Mazda promptly got banned from returning.
Oh,
the French didn't take too kindly to it.
No, I imagine not.
No, they rocked up with their wankled rotary engine.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah,
and then
they changed the rules.
Changed the rules because oh bloody hell!
Because it won, didn't it?
Yeah.
Then they changed the rules so it couldn't ever again.
That's it. Yeah, because that was it. It had to conform to the same sort of fit in the same sort of rules as standard piston engines, but obviously the displacement was wildly different because it doesn't work like that. So
it's fair enough actually,
but it's such a cool thing. I have been at Le Mans when the car has been put around the track.
Oh, have you? Oh, I think you said it made an extraordinary noise.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
Yes. So if you hear of it being shown somewhere, go and see it because it's a noise like no other thing.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yes. So sorry, mate. As you were.
No, that's fine. Well, I'm continuing downwards. Although there is a slight blip upwards again in a minute, but I would like to propose the Land Rover Defender Heritage Edition.
Okay, yeah, that's understandable.
Yes, I think so. It was supposed to be the end of the Defender line, but I think I'm right in saying it turned out not to be.
I'm sure I've heard that as well.
They made it and then decided to make some more.
Yeah.
Because I think I'm right in saying that there's a little plaque on it with the date saying that it was the last of the line, but in classic Land Rover fashion, that turned out to be inaccurate because they then made some more the following year.
Yes, that is correct.
So the ones that have a sticker on them saying that they were the last of the line, in fact, weren't.
No, but obviously the ones that the heritage ones there are built to a very specific specification.
Specific specification. 2,654 were built, which is a very
weird
specific number. Very weird number. They were all in Grasmere green.
That's right.
Which is a tribute to the oldest surviving Land Rover. And they all had a little, I believe, a sticker on the front wings with that car's number plate, HUA 166. HUE 166.
HUE, that's it. Yeah, yep.
HUE 166 on the front wings, which was the last one, and references to it scattered throughout it. But I think that's a very worthy special edition. It's got history, it's got tradition.
It's very fitting, isn't it? I'm happy to have a Defender on the list.
Yeah, I think so.
Very happy.
Yeah, I think so.
No, I like that. Right, I'm really going to step it up again now. The final two on my list.
Yes, I've only got two left.
I really don't know if I'd probably have to pick both in terms of ones I want to own.
Okay.
But I don't think I could pick between them. So in no particular order, I'm just going to do this one first. And I just adored this from the second this was announced. And it's the Lamborghini Gallardo LP550-2 Valentino Balboni edition.
That's very specific.
Very specific.
Yes, very good.
It's a model of Gallardo to pay tribute and thanks to Lamborghini's long-serving test driver, Mr. Balboni.
Mr. Balboni, yes.
And the most significant sort of detail about this is the -2 in the name, meaning that is a rear-wheel drive Gallardo. Which
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so as far as I know, there might be some other wonky special editions, but I'm could be right in thinking that is the only rear-wheel drive one.
Okay.
So you've got 550 horsepower, rear-wheel drive, glorious sports. I always liked the look of the Gallardo, and it comes in this wonderful sort of, it's a fairly light orange, and it's got this white stripe, and the stripe carries on through the interior as well. So you look on the center console, and it's just white.
It just keeps going.
Yeah,
very good.
And I just think that's brilliant. That's
madness, isn't it?
That's a bit of me. Manual gearbox as well. Lovely.
That's very good.
Yeah, that's proper fancy. That is.
I've got something in a similar ilk myself next. And I think this is something you're going to approve of enormously.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the Ford Mustang Bullet Edition.
Yes. Yeah, you're not going to get arguments there, are you?
I'm not going to get an argument on that. No, based on the standard Mustang V8 GT.
Mm-hmm.
I called it the Bullet Edition. Technically, it's called the Steve McQueen Edition, I believe is its official name, but everybody calls it the Bullet Mustang. And
it says Bullet on it, doesn't it?
It says Bullet on it. In fact, that is the only badge. There's no Mustang badges, there's no Ford badges. It does say Bullet on the boot, but officially it is called the Steve McQueen Edition.
Well, that's just it's always going to be a winner, isn't it?
Always going to be a winner. Only available in that metallic green, and with a price tag of £92,000.
Wow, that is quite a jump for one of those.
It is, when you consider a standard V8 GT is just shy of £47,000.
You're essentially doubling, really, aren't you?
You're essentially doubling the price. Yeah. Now, it is more than just a cosmetic special edition. It's the work of a company called Steeder, who are an American Mustang tuner.
Yeah.
And they've also worked with Chad McQueen, who is Steve McQueen's son. So it does have some genuine provenance to it. and it's designed to look although it's a modern Mustang, it's designed to look as close as possible to the car used in the 1968 movie, which was spec'd by McQueen himself.
Yeah, there are some sort of notable differences. So only subtle, but it's
and some subtle differences from the standard Mustang, like the wheels are 20-inch instead of 19-inch. I mean, it's only a small change. You get Pilot Sport tires, and it's all kind of a bit more than the standard one. And I think it's, funnily enough, and the reason I thought of this is that I saw one. There was one parked just down the road from my house last week.
It's that's impressive. I mean, the only trouble is it's. Do you think it would suffer being a modern Mustang?
Yeah, I think it probably would,
because on our school run, when I wander down with the kids, there is one parent who has got a modern Mustang. And it's bright blue, and he's at least got the V8, not the EcoBoost.
I was going to say it is now available with the tiny little engine out of the Fiesta.
Yeah, that's not a good idea. But no, he's got the V8. But every time he arrives and drops the children off, there is, no matter who is standing around, there's just a look of disdain.
Yeah, you're going to get a lot of hate in that, aren't you? Yeah. I mean, people do, blokes particularly, you do judge people by the car they drive. And unfortunately, a modern Mustang,
it's not going to do any favours.
Mind you, those, aren't you?
Mind you, like my previous one, if I'd rock up in a Balboni edition Gallardo with bright orange with a white stripe down it, you're going to get. You're going to be hearing the word bellend from miles.
You are. The guy in the Mustang actually at that point is not looking to bet.
No, this is true. No, but if you do that in a '68 Mustang like he drove in the film,
different matter altogether.
Very different. I mean,
very different. I agree entirely. I mean, this is more than just, as I say, this is more than just a cosmetic.
No, that I like.
Adjustment. Yeah, and McQueen's son himself has had a hand in it. So it does have some genuine provenance to it. But of course, when you rock up outside a school to pick your kids up, nobody knows that.
No, and you're not going to be hanging out the window going, no, honest, his son helped with the development of this.
Yeah, this is substantially different from the standard one. It's tuned, bigger wheels and bit of engine, and no, nobody's going to care.
No, they're just going to have lots of people gesturing a bit of a wanking sign at you there.
The problem is, imagine you're talking to somebody and they say, "Oh, what car do you drive?" Any car that beyond the name of it, you have to offer some explanation for. It's not working, is it?
No.
You failed straight away. It's a really special one. It's McQueen's son helped to develop it, and it's bigger wheels, and it's
they've walked off at this point.
They've walked as soon as you've said, "Oh, I've got a Mustang." They're over at the cheese board, and they're not interested. Then are they? That's your call. If you have to call after them as they're walking away, no, it's a really special one.
No,
you're done at that point.
No, that's it. Your average person, if you say Mustang and don't qualify it and say, I don't know, if set a '60s Mustang, that'll keep them interested. But
that would keep them into a classic Mustang. If you stick the word classic in front of it, you might hold on to them. If you just say Mustang, no,
you're going to think you're a bit of a dick.
Yes, but I fear so.
Yeah, but like I said, exactly the same applies to the Lamborghini.
Yeah, it does.
Honestly, it's a special edition.
Possibly even more so.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. Definitely. Yeah. Oh yeah, this is a heritage one because it pays tribute to the test driver and it's only got rear-wheel drive.
Don't care.
Yeah. No, they've by that point
they don't
not
care.
Only have they walked off, they've spat on it as well.
Yeah. They have. If you leave the window open, There's going to be a lot of gob on your seat when it comes
there's
to
going to
go.
be an awful lot of bodily. That.
There is.
All of that, right.
You're going to have to be sure and take your detailing kit wherever you go.
Oh, God.
And something very absorbent.
Yes.
That can go in the bin. Yeah.
Oh, dear. Right. I think
your seat.
my next and final one would suffer with this as well.
Okay.
Perhaps not as much because it's understated, but you do have to explain it.
Okay.
But I love it. And you'll know why. I'm sure I've mentioned it before. I can't remember if I've mentioned it on podcast though. And that would be the Porsche 911 Sport Classic.
Yeah, fair dues.
Yeah, this is the 997 Gen 2 Special Edition. This is the only Sport Classic at present. I'm just going to put that out there because there are rumors and people have seen things. There could be another one on the way, but I don't know enough yet, so that's for another day.
Interesting.
So this is basically this is towards the end of the 997, and it's very much a greatest hits of 911s, not just 997. This is 911s through the years.
Okay.
So it's got most noticeably the ducktail, not the whale tail.
Yes.
Love the ducktail. It's got the wide stance. It's basically taken the body of the Carrera 4S from the 997 range. So it's that wider track, but importantly, still two-wheel drive. Still rear-wheel drive on that. Not because the Carrera 4s would have been four-wheel drive, hence the number 4. But all they've done is borrowed the wider stance. It's got, in terms of a bit of racing nod, it's got that very slight double bubble in the roof.
I know. Yeah.
So it's got the slightly tweaked engine, so it nudges it just over 400 horsepower.
Mm-hmm.
Got a bit of a reduction in ride height, a limited slip diff. It's all of the good stuff in one place for a lot of money.
Yes. Yeah, a lot of money. Yeah.
A really lot of money that is. And it's got this. The interior is gorgeous. It's it's a really, really dark brown, and the seat inlays what they've done is the door cards and seat inlays are. I can't remember the exact name of the fabric, but it's quite a retro one. So you've got the leather bolsters and leather uppers and lowers of the door card, but this wonderful fabric in between. It's just, that'll do.
Very good.
So that's a bit of me.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah.
And I remember it being released and everyone saying, well, that's sold out and you'll never see one. And I turned up at a show and there was one there.
Of course.
Yeah, probably within a month of it being released.
Wow.
Yeah.
Somebody was quick off the mark.
Yeah, definitely. And I've never seen one since.
Oh, well, you should seek one out.
I should. I'd like to seek one out to buy, but I cannot afford it.
No.
I couldn't afford it when it was new, and I can't afford it now.
Certainly can't afford it now. No, that's not happening.
No. I've not even bothered looking up prices in recent times. They are not for. I mean, they're not even for the likes of anyone at the time. Even if you were well endowed in the bank account, you had to be invited to have one. You would have needed to have bought a long line of very important Porsches before you would have been offered even the hint of being able to put your name down for it.
Yeah, they chose who had those.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. It was nothing to do with if you could afford it or not. Porsche had to like you. Yeah.
That's right. But
yeah.
So, but do keep your eye out. Apparently there's one on the way.
Oh, okay.
Apparently, there's a 992 variant one. There's a lot of rumors out there, and when I say a lot of rumors, I mean as of today, we're recording within hours of this happening.
Oh,
so
right.
We are on the button.
Blimey, you're going to have a moment, aren't you, when that happens? Yes.
Yep. So
yes.
it'll be interesting to see because, as I've said before, I think while I still got a lot of time for the 991 and the 992. I think they're getting a bit too big. I think they need to rein it in a little bit. I'm just worried that these greatest hits features might not sit as well on a 992 because it's a larger vehicle.
It is getting quite fat, isn't it, these days?
I mean, everything is in proportion. I wouldn't say it's bloated. I just think its footprint is too big now.
It's too big. No, I agree. I'm not saying it's it looks wrong. I just think the whole thing is too big.
But is that a criticism of Porsche or is that a criticism of cars in general?
No, I think it's everything. Everything's too big. Nothing fits in a parking space anymore.
Quite.
Yes, it's a problem across the whole industry that everything has just become enormous. When there's no need for it. We don't need it.
No. Oh my goodness! Right, here we go. While we've been chatting on that, would you like to know what a sport classic sold for at auction in May of this year, with just under 8,000 miles on the clock?
Oh, go on then.
Bearing in mind the price new, I believe, was 137,000.
Okay.
The winning bid was £261,000.
Mine. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's gone. Yeah. As you say, that's departed, doesn't it?
That's gone. What I do like is they've remembered the name of the leather inside for me, and it's espresso leather. And
of course it is.
Good heavens, it looks nice.
Wiped clean, hopefully.
Yeah, but the problem is it's fabric in the middle, so that bit isn't. So if
you're going to have to be careful.
Yeah, if you have an accident, get it on the bolsters.
Yeah, right. Okay.
So there we go.
Dear.
Is that we tackled all your lists there?
No, I've got one left.
Oh, okay,
one
good,
left.
Good.
And this last one is nothing like that. This is, as you said earlier, crashing back down to earth.
Perfect. That's quite a nice way to finish, isn't it?
And this is the one that I actually owned, as we mentioned at the beginning.
Yes, I know where we're going here.
Do you?
I think so.
This is the 2000 Ford Escort Finesse.
That's the one. Yep.
Yes. The Mark 6, the Escort Mark 6, the very last of the Escorts, and the last of my Escorts too. It was. They'd already started making the Focus by this point, but the Focus being such a departure, Ford were a little bit nervous, so they kept the Escort going in this special edition, and it had a lot of components from the Focus in it, so it was actually, you could argue, the best Escort they ever made. It had the Z-Tech engine rather than the old CVH. It had the audio system was from the Focus. It had that kind of double height radio that Ford were using. It had one of those in it. It had alloy wheels. It had a much plusher interior, boot spoiler, fog lights, all the stuff of the time. It had all the options on it, and I really liked it. It was a cracking car.
Yeah. I've you've shown me photos of it actually, and that.
It had little crests on the rear doors, celebrating that it had been made at Ford's Halewood plant in Liverpool, where the final Escorts were made. Yeah, again, it was a genuine it was the final edition, the last of the Ford Escort line was the Finesse, and mine was in Panther Black.
Very good.
Yes, indeed. Same colour that Phil's Puma is in. Same paint. So similar era. So actually,
well, it would have been actually, wouldn't it?
Yeah, similar. It was the same paint. Cracking little thing.
Yeah. How long did you have yours for?
Oh, quite a while. Probably 5-6 years.
Yeah, blimey.
Yeah.
Much loved.
Yeah, it was much loved. Because I bought it was my third Escort because I'd had a Mark IV.
That was your first car, wasn't
That
it?
was my first car. We've covered
Yeah.
that. I replaced it with the Mark V and the Mark VI were very similar. So I'm not sure. It may even have been an early Mark VI.
Right.
But it was an LX.
And is that the one that you utterly ruined?
Yes, that was the one I crashed. Yes. That was the one I made U-shaped. Yes. Yes. Yeah, that was a bit spent by the time I'd finished with it.
Not going to
And
buff out.
I got me insurance money and I bought another one. But it was this final edition, final special edition Finesse, which had all the toys and was lovely. And that I then eventually traded in for the Mini.
Okay.
Is how that worked out. But yeah, Ford Escort Finesse is where my list ends. We've come a long way from the $85,000 DeLorean.
Yeah, that's good. I like that though. I quite like the fact that we can end on one that you actually had, and not only had, you held on to for quite some time.
I had for quite a while. I really liked that car. It was really, really good car. That never let me down. Never had any trouble with it. Cracking the thing. But by that point, they really had got the Escort sorted out. And this final edition was kind of halfway to a Focus. It had the Focus engine. It had a lot of the Focus running gear on it. Because they were already making the Focus by that point. But they just wanted to keep the Escort going a little bit longer just in case.
Yeah, well, little did they know it was going to take off the way it did.
Absolutely. I mean, look at the reverence that is felt now for the Mark I Focus.
Yeah, we all quite fancy one, don't we?
We all quite fancy a Mark I Focus, and it's a bit of a hot tip of the moment, actually, because they are still available for no money. You can buy one for a few hundred. And I've got a feeling in the next sort of 18 months or so, they are going to start going up.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
Because the rough ones are starting to disappear.
Yes.
And that's a sure sign that it's about to do the bounce.
Okay.
Come back up again. I think my hot tip at the moment, if you want a car that's going to go up, is a Mark I. Get yourself a Mark I Focus.
Right. Well, that's it then. Right. Let's end it on our buyer's advice then.
Yeah,
buy a Mark I Focus.
Buy a Mark I Focus, which did not appear on our list at all. There were some special edition Focuses. Do you remember that bright yellow one they did for the Millennium?
Oh, they did a few Millenniums. There was a Puma as well,
and a Ka. Yeah, that's right.
But the yellow was crap.
It was awful. It was horrible. Yes.
I don't mind a yellow car, but that particular shade of yellow was rubbish.
It was quite sickly, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember. Am I right in thinking Phil? Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure he had one very briefly, but it turned out to be a rot box, and it went.
That does ring a bell, actually. Yes, I think he might have.
There's a part of me that thinks, right, yes, he definitely had a Millennium, and then there's a little nagging bit in the back of my mind saying, "You sure it wasn't a Thunder?" But I can't. Honestly, it hung around for so little time, and I only think I saw it in passing once.
I remember his Mark I Focus ST.
Oh, the ST 170, yes.
Yeah, that stayed a little bit longer.
He didn't like that. No,
he didn't, did he?
His criticism was that it wasn't as powerful as you think it is, and yeah, I suppose that's correct.
Yeah, the clue's in the name, though.
But still, I drove that a lot. In fact, we've joked about it before, but I mean, all joking aside, I think I drove it more than he did.
Yes, yeah, I think that's probably true. Yeah,
and you had to work the engine. I'll give you that.
Yeah,
but underpowered, difficult.
I don't know. I mean, that's
subjective, I suppose, isn't it?
I think so. I mean, we all love a fast Ford.
We do. I suppose he's right, though. We would have loved it if it's just a little bit faster.
Yeah,
But do
I
you
guess.
think that was on purpose because they had the it wasn't ST, it was
RS.
the RS, wasn't it?
They did. I think that probably was deliberate. They didn't want to move it too much in the way of the RS.
Because they were charging quite the premium for the RS.
Yes, they were. And that was considerably more powerful.
Mm.
Although, if I seem to recall, suffered from appalling torque steer.
Well, didn't they try and counteract it? Had some sort of crazy diff to calm it down.
It did, but it didn't work.
Not brilliantly.
No.
No. But when you think the second generation Focus, when they made that would have been ST, but that one, they were using the Volvo engines in that. And I think that would have been.
They were.
While I don't agree with the styling so much on the Mark II,
No.
that engine, those 5-cylinder 2.5 Volvo engines, good heavens, yes.
The problem with the Mark II Focus, and we had one actually for a while, before we bought the Fiesta. In fact, we traded in a Mark II Focus for the Fiesta ST.
Okay.
The Mark II Focus, it was a good car. It was well built. It was solid, reliable. But after the Mark I, the styling was just so bland. It was so boring to look at, and boring to sit in. Yeah, but after the Mark I had been such a success, why run away from that? I never quite understood what the thinking was there. You've launched this really different, radical, bold statement of a car, and then you replace it with just this bland looking thing that you could lose in a Tesco's car park. I didn't understand what they were doing there at all.
No,
not that it was a bad car; it just had no personality at all.
It did hurt them.
Yeah, I think it did.
Yeah.
I think it did. They've got steadily better again since, but I don't think they've ever quite captured the impact that the Mark I had.
No, I agree with that. No, I don't think we're ever going to see that, particularly from any mainstream manufacturer, really.
No, they're all playing it a bit too safe now, aren't they?
Or going completely the other way and going too wild and making you want to vomit.
Or getting it wrong. BMW. Yes.
Don't start, because we could go for hours on how vomit-inducing that is.
We could.
Hideous, and they insist on using bloody Coldplay.
Yeah, that is a bit. Well, I like Coldplay, as you know, but it's a bit strange in that context. Yes. Anyway, let's not worry about that. Let's end on our sensible consumer advice. Go and buy a Mark I Focus while they're still £500.
Yep. That one for everyone. Yep, go and do that immediately.
Indeed. Well, I think that's probably enough of that for this week. Check us out on all the various social medias and things. Thank you very much for listening.